Hi Nat5s, so we are looking at proteins and enzymes, and we're starting with the variety of proteins that you get. Okay, so having made your protein, this is now what we need to consider, and this is true, to be honest, with everything in biology, from starting with a protein to going right the way up to like a whole organism. The shape will decide the function, and the function decides the shape you have to be. So if you want to pick things up, then a opposable thumb is very useful. So that is the function is picking something up, which decides that actually the opposable thumb is the shape we need to have. And because we have an opposable thumb, it means we can pick things up. Shape, function, not sure which one comes first. It's a whole chicken and egg argument. Okay, so what actually allows you to have different protein shapes? This is really important. The protein shape is actually decided by the amino acids that make it up. So there's about 20 of these amino acids, but you can make them into whatever order you want. So you could have a huge string of just one and then another one stuck in the top and then back to the one that you had before. You can do whatever you want. Okay, and the code for this is carried from the DNA via mRNA to the ribosome. And the code will be written in your base letters. And in this one here that we've got as a diagram, you actually have the base letters included in here, U, which is a slightly different one that you see on mRNA. Okay, but what's important is that we have all these different amino acids. These are the 3-letter codes for different amino acids: proline, serine, tyrosine, a whole pile. Okay, but the order that you put these in is going to be decided by the original code that's in the gene in your nucleus. Okay, so gene decides code, code then gives you your mRNA, mRNA goes out to the ribosome, decides the sequence of amino acids, and once you've got those amino acids, they will decide the shape that it will fold into. So we kind of take our proteins and put them into different groups. First one is structural proteins. So they are exactly what it sounds like. They form structure. So they are generally like ropes. Keratin's a really good example. Collagen, these are all structural proteins. Enzymes, we're going to talk about a lot, okay, so in the next section. So what we do with enzymes is we have biological catalysts that we can fold into a particular shape, and then they will help things break down basically, or build up. We can do both of those things with them. But what's essential is that shape is going to be decided by the code. Another good example are hormones. So hormones are released from the endocrine system, they flow through the blood, and then they connect with a receptor in a cell, which then triggers the response. Okay, all of this is in a bit more detail in multicellular. But we have several big examples, things like insulin, ADH, which is to do with water regulation, and it's a really important particular subset of proteins that you have inside your body. Antibodies, hopefully you've heard of, they're part of the immune system, and every single antibody is triggered by a particular antigen, so it will lock on to a particular antigen, and once your body has encountered that particular antigen, it keeps copies of that particular antibody so that if you meet it again, it will respond more quickly. Which, and I'm saying I think you should know about this just now, is because this is all about how vaccines work. So it doesn't stop you getting the disease, but what happens is you now have the antibodies ready to ramp up production really, really fast, so that even though you've got the disease, you wipe it out really quickly in your body, so you don't have the really bad effects of it, which is why you still have to be careful in terms of transmission. Receptors, really, really important. So every single part of your cell surface will have hundreds and hundreds of these different receptors, and those receptors will be for different things. So some will be testing the environment, some will be to communicate, there'll be some that are the right shape for particular hormones. Proteins with a particular shape are absolutely essential. And then we've got carriers. So carriers also really useful things in the membrane. Channels and carriers you had in Carrier 2. And they will have a particular shape. So yet again, the shape and function, all of it coded to give you a string of amino acids that will then fold into a particular way to allow you to do the job. Shape, function linked together. And that's it.